Most Toyota owners don't ignore oil change advice because they don't care. They ignore it because nothing feels wrong. The engine starts fine, no noises, no warning lights, no leaks on the driveway. So when a service advisor tells them they're overdue or risking engine damage, it sounds dramatic until the fear starts working. Suddenly there's talk of sludge, warranty issues, and shortened engine life. Before you know it, you're approving an oil change you didn't plan on, sometimes 2 or 3 times a year at dealership prices. Here's the truth most service centers won't say out loud. Toyota oil change intervals are not nearly as fragile as they make them sound, and a lot of owners are being pushed into unnecessary service based on fear, not engineering. I've worked around Toyotas long enough to see the pattern repeat. A Camry comes in running perfectly fine at 4,500 miles. The advisor says it's critical to change the oil now. The owner hesitates, gets warned about engine wear, and approves it anyway. That same car shows up again 3,000 miles later and hears the same speech. That's not maintenance, that's conditioning. Toyota did not build engines that self-destruct if you miss an oil change by a few hundred miles. These engines are conservative, overbuilt, and designed to tolerate real-world driving, not perfect lab conditions. The problem isn't that oil changes matter. They absolutely do. The problem is how oil change intervals are being used as a pressure point. Let's talk about what actually happens inside a Toyota engine. Toyota engines are designed with tight but forgiving tolerances. Oil circulates quickly, coats surfaces evenly, and maintains pressure even as it ages. Modern Toyota oils, especially synthetic blends and full synthetics, don't suddenly fail at an exact mileage number. They degrade gradually. That's important, because service centers talk about oil like it has an expiration timer that hits 0 at exactly 5,000 miles. That's simply not how oil works. What really determines oil life is usage. Short trips, cold starts, heavy stop-and-go driving, towing, extreme heat. If you're commuting calmly, driving longer distances, and keeping the engine at operating temperature, oil holds up far longer than most people are told. That's why you'll see Toyota engines with 200 to 300,000 miles that didn't follow obsessive oil schedules, they followed reasonable ones. Now let's talk about the upsell itself. Service centers make steady money on oil changes. It's predictable, fast, and brings cars into the building where other services can be recommended. That's not a conspiracy, it's just how the business works. The issue is when that incentive quietly shifts the narrative. You'll hear phrases like, "This engine is known for sludge." We see a lot of failures when people stretch intervals. Toyota recommends severe service. That last one is especially powerful. Severe service technically includes short trips, city driving, cold weather, and frequent idling, which conveniently describes almost everyone. Once a service advisor frames your driving as severe, the recommended interval magically shortens, sometimes by half. I've seen owners quoted oil change intervals of 3,000 miles on Toyotas designed to comfortably handle 7,500 to 10,000 miles under normal use. And once you're on that treadmill, it's hard to step off without feeling like you're risking the engine. Here's where the real cost adds up. A dealership oil change often runs anywhere from $90 to $140. Do that every 3,000 to 4,000 miles, and over 100,000 miles you've spent thousands more than necessary, not on repairs, but on fear-based maintenance. Meanwhile, I've seen Toyotas come through shops with spotless internals at 180,000 miles, maintained at sensible intervals, never babied, never panicked over. That's not luck. That's understanding the machine. Another trick that catches owners is warning language without warnings. You're not overdue, yet you're approaching a critical threshold. We wouldn't recommend waiting. None of that means the oil is failing. It means the advisor is doing their job, protecting the shop, not necessarily optimizing your ownership costs. And here's the quiet part that almost never gets mentioned. Overservicing can be just as wasteful as neglect. Every oil change introduces fresh detergents. Those detergents clean, but in high-mileage engines, excessive cleaning too frequently can disturb deposits that have stabilized over time. Toyota engineers understand balance. That's why they publish intervals instead of as often as possible. Oil changes should protect the engine, not feed anxiety. If you own a Toyota that's running smoothly, not burning oil, and not showing real warning signs, you're not on the edge of engine failure just because you didn't rush in early. You're driving a vehicle that was engineered to tolerate real life, not service-based scare tactics. Toyota engines don't survive 200,000 to 300,000 miles because owners panic. They survive because owners understand what actually matters and ignore what doesn't. If this already has you questioning what you've been told at the service counter, tap like and subscribe. I see every comment, and the discussions that happen under these videos are where the real Toyota knowledge shows up, from owners who've lived with these cars for decades, not from sales scripts. And once you understand how oil really behaves inside a Toyota engine, it becomes a lot harder for anyone to pressure you into service you don't actually need. One of the biggest misunderstandings about Toyota oil changes isn't mileage, it's oil condition. Service centers love mileage because it's easy to sell. A number feels official. But oil doesn't know how many miles you've driven, it responds to heat cycles, contamination, and time. That's where a lot of owners quietly lose money without realizing it. I've seen the same Toyota come in twice with nearly identical oil condition, yet receive completely different advice depending on who was behind the counter. One owner is told they're fine for a bit, another is told they're pushing their luck. Same engine, same oil, same mileage range. What changed wasn't the car, it was the pitch. Toyota engines, especially the naturally aspirated 4-cylinders and V6s, are extremely forgiving when it comes to oil degradation. They don't rely on razor-thin margins or high-strung tolerances. They were built to survive long commutes, missed exits, hot summers, and cold starts without falling apart. That's why you'll often see Toyotas with slightly dark oil that are mechanically perfect inside. Dark oil doesn't mean dead oil, it means oil that has done its job, suspending contaminants and protecting metal surfaces. Service centers rarely explain that because dark sounds scary, and fear closes sales faster than facts. Now let's talk about the most expensive lie nobody questions. You're protecting resale value. Oil change upsells are often framed as long-term protection. You want records. Future buyers look at maintenance history. That sounds reasonable until you do the math. Overservicing doesn't raise resale value nearly as much as people think. A Toyota with reasonable, consistent oil changes will sell just as well as one with obsessive 3,000-mile intervals. Buyers care about condition, not perfection. Engines don't get bonus points for anxiety-driven maintenance. What does get expensive is blindly following every shortened interval recommendation. I've watched owners spend an extra $3,000 over a decade on oil changes alone, not because their Toyota needed it, but because they were told it did. That money never touched reliability, it just fed the service lane. Another quiet trick is bundling. You go in for an oil change and suddenly it's a maintenance package. Oil change, filter, inspection, fluid top-offs, and a list of observations designed to make you uneasy. Most of those inspections are visual checks that take minutes, but they justify the higher price. You're not paying for better oil. You're paying for psychology. And here's the part owners don't realize until much later. Frequent oil changes don't prevent every engine problem. I've seen Toyotas with immaculate oil records still develop issues because of coolant neglect, PCV valve failures, stuck piston rings from short-trip driving, or oil dilution that no early oil change could fix. Oil changes matter, but they aren't magic. Toyota engineers understand this. That's why factory service schedules include time-based intervals alongside mileage. Oil ages even when the car doesn't move. Yet service centers rarely emphasize time because mileage-based fear sells better. There's also a quiet shift happening that most owners haven't noticed. Modern Toyota engines are far cleaner internally than older designs. Better machining, tighter casting tolerances, and improved piston ring design mean sludge is far less common than it was in the early 2000s. Yet service language still sounds like it's 2003. I've pulled valve covers off high-mileage Toyotas that followed reasonable intervals and found clean internals with visible machining marks still intact. No sludge, no scoring, no damage. Meanwhile, owners were told for years they were pushing it. That disconnect matters. Now let's talk about one of the biggest profit drivers nobody questions: synthetic oil fear. Synthetic oil doesn't instantly fail if you don't change it early. It doesn't suddenly stop lubricating at a magic mileage. It degrades slowly and predictably. That's why Toyota approved longer intervals in the first place. But once you accept that fact, it becomes harder for anyone to scare you. The truth is, Toyota engines don't die because an owner waited a little too long once. They die from patterns, chronic neglect, ignored coolant issues, overheating, oil starvation, or repeated short trips without full warm-up. Oil changes should be part of a larger ownership mindset, not a reflex. And here's something service centers almost never say. A calm owner is a cheaper owner. When you understand what actually harms a Toyota engine, heat, contamination, lack of lubrication, you stop reacting to every recommendation like it's an emergency. That alone saves thousands over long-term ownership. If your Toyota is running smoothly, holding oil pressure, not consuming oil excessively, and not showing real warning signs, you are not on borrowed time. You're driving a machine designed to tolerate imperfection. The real trick isn't changing oil as early as possible, it's changing it intelligently. If you start thinking this way, the service lane loses its grip, because fear only works when you don't understand the system you're driving. That understanding is what separates owners who quietly reach 300,000 miles from those who spend thousands trying to stay ahead of problems that never existed. Once you step back and look at the full picture, something becomes very clear about Toyota oil changes. The real damage usually isn't done by waiting a little longer, it's done by not understanding why you're being told to act. Toyota engines don't fail because owners miss a perfect interval by a few hundred miles. They fail when oil breaks down from neglect, contamination, or overheating, problems that develop slowly and give warning signs long before disaster strikes. But those warning signs aren't always the ones service centers point to. What actually matters is consistency, not obsession. An owner who changes oil reasonably, checks levels, pays attention to how the engine sounds, and allows the engine to warm up properly will almost always outlast someone who chases the shortest interval out of fear. Toyota engines reward stability. They don't need constant interference. This is why you'll hear experienced Toyota owners talk about listening to the car. Not in a mystical way, but in a practical one. Engines communicate through sound, behavior, and consumption. When something is wrong, it doesn't stay silent forever. Oil consumption increasing suddenly. Cold start noise that wasn't there before. Burnt oil smell after shutdown. Oil that thins unusually fast. Those are signals worth responding to. A mileage number on a receipt is not. Another truth service centers rarely explain is how much driving style affects oil life. Short trips where the engine never reaches full operating temperature are far harder on oil than steady highway miles. Fuel dilution builds up. Moisture doesn't evaporate. That's what actually shortens oil life, not calm, consistent driving. That's why two Toyotas with the same mileage can need oil service at different times. One may be working its oil hard every day, the other may barely stress it at all. Toyota engineers understand this. Service scripts don't. There's also an emotional cost to fear-based maintenance that rarely gets talked about. Owners start distrusting their own cars. Every noise becomes suspicious. Every suggestion feels urgent. That anxiety pushes people into unnecessary repairs, resets, flushes, and inspections that add no real value. Meanwhile, the Toyota keeps doing what it's always done, starting, running, and tolerating more than most people give it credit for. I've seen owners walk into shops convinced their engine was on the verge of failure because they stretched an oil change once. I've also seen those same engines go another 100,000 miles without a single internal repair. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because Toyota builds engines with margin. Margin for imperfect fuel, imperfect oil, imperfect schedules, and imperfect humans. The biggest shift for owners is realizing they don't need to beat the system, they just need to understand it. When you stop treating oil changes like emergencies and start treating them like part of a long-term plan, ownership becomes cheaper, calmer, and more predictable. That's when Toyotas quietly start stacking miles instead of invoices. If you own one of these vehicles, you don't need secret tricks or panic-driven maintenance. You need clear information, patience, and a willingness to question advice that doesn't match how your car actually behaves. That mindset is why some Toyotas reach 250,000 or 300,000 miles with original engines, while others rack up repair bills long before that point. The difference isn't magic, it's understanding. If this video helped put things into perspective, tap like and subscribe. I see every comment, and hearing real owner experiences, good and bad, helps cut through the noise and keep these conversations honest. Toyota didn't build these cars to be fragile. They built them to last. The rest comes down to how confidently you own one.